thanks for joining me for this second part of our march through the books of the Bible. We started off, we're going in the order that the books are in the Bible. We started off with the book of Genesis. Today we're going to look at the book of Exodus and what it tells us about God, about God's people, and about his relationship to his people. So the book of Exodus, it is a story of God's miraculous deliverance of his people, the nation of Israel, from slavery from Egypt. This records the Israelites' journey to Mount Sinai, and where they agree to become God's covenant people, and they begin to learn how to worship him and obey him and be his people, what that actually means. So this book is broken up into two parts. We see that chapters 1 through 19, they deal with God's story of rescue of the people of Israel from Egypt and bringing them to Mount Sinai. In this first half, we're introduced to a man that becomes a central figure in the entire Bible from this point on, and that's Moses. We see his life. He is one of the interesting characters of the Bible that we get a detailed story of his life from birth to death all throughout the Bible. So we really get to know this man. He and you can check out the book. You can see what it says about his life. It's a very interesting story. It's a blessing to be able to connect with what he goes through in that. So, but once they reach Mount Sinai, we see chapters 20 through 40. They describe God's covenant with his people made as they're like encamped around Mount Sinai. There's this really interesting interaction between God and Moses on Mount Sinai, where you see God give him tablets that we know, if you have much Christian background at all, these are the 10 Commandments. We see the nation of Israel fail from the jump. You see, and you even see Moses get a little view of God. And it's a really interesting story. It's a really interesting connection. So in Exodus 6 through 8, God outlines what he's doing for the Israelites and presents them with a definition of how they are to think of themselves in relation to him. Because we as believers, we as followers of God, we not only need to look at ourselves as who we are, but we also need to see who we are in relation to God. So in these verses, it says, "Wherefore say unto the children of Israel," and this is God speaking. He says, "I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm and with great judgments. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a God, and ye shall know that I am the Lord your God, which bringeth you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. And I will bring you in unto the land concerning the which I did swear it to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, and I will give it to you a heritage. I am the Lord." So much of the early part of the Bible, and really the entirety of the Bible, is summed up in that last couple words, where God is trying to tell his people and trying to remind them, I am the Lord. We forget constantly. We forget very quickly that he is the Lord. He is God. And we need to remember that. We need to remember the things that he's done. We need to remember the things that he has said to us, the things that he has guided us through, in order to truly understand that he is the Lord. So when we begin to go through that process of remembering who he is, one of the best places to start is to remember what he's done. In the book of Exodus, we see these signposts, these big events in the nation of Israel's history, where they really begin to see blessings that God has done. And they really begin to have these events that they can go back to throughout their entire history and see the blessings of God. So this is just this quick overview of the book of Exodus. You could spend months and months and months going through the content, the topics, and everything in it, the theological importance of this book. But I just wanted to give you a quick overview. If this is the kind of thing that you like, if you want to see more of this, please subscribe to the page, and we will be getting more content out soon, just like this, of the rest of the books of the Bible. So thanks for joining. See you next time.